We'll call the meeting to order, and we will start with our invocation. And I don't see our pastor here. So, and our city clerk has said that she'll go ahead and lead that. And after that, we have the sweetest joy of singing class to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Will you all please rise?
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we take this moment to reflect, we offer grateful thanks for our plentiful gifts. May the purpose and principles of our city be diligently upheld by our actions as we pray for your unfailing guidance. Please bless our community, our nation, and our world toward a future bright with the promise of understanding and compassion for all. Amen.
Young ladies, you guys did an excellent job. Would you want to introduce yourselves to us? You give us your names and what grade you're in?
I'm Anthea Bordaro. I'm in 5th grade. I'm 10 years old, and I go to Leo Elementary.
I'm Zoe Peter. I'm also 10 years old. I'm in 5th grade, and I go to Whitman Elementary School.
My name is Sindel. I'm 7 years old. I'm in 2nd grade, and I go to Leo Elementary School.
Well, I want Anyway, you girls did a fantastic job. Thank you. Okay, I have no presentations tonight. Is there any appointments?
Mayor may conduct a roll call.
Do we have to? Okay, yeah, please do. I skipped over that. Thank you.
Council and Agency Member Johnson.
Present.
Council and Agency Member Vo.
Present.
Council and Agency Member Yokoyama.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem and Vice Chair Solanki.
Present.
Mayor and Chair Barrows.
Present. Okay, no presentations under 5A. 5B, is there anybody making any appointments today? Hearing none, we'll move on to public comments. Is there anyone that wishes to address the council at this time? And I have no one. Okay, and seeing that we have nobody, we'll close public comments. Are there any comments, Vita, that came in by email?
Mayor, there were not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the consent calendar.
Vote to approve. Second.
Okay, hold on.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'd like to pull item 7C and to vote on that separately.
Thank you. Okay, there's a motion and the second to accept that.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and approve everything but 7C.
Mayor, if I may, because tonight we have a council member participating via teleconference, state law requires that all votes be taken by roll call vote.
Certainly.
Thank you. A motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Solanki and seconded by Councilmember Vo to approve the balance of the consent calendar with the exception of item 7C. At this time, a roll call vote will be conducted. Council Agency Member Johnson.
Aye.
Council Agency Member Vo.
Aye.
Council Agency Member Yokoyama.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem and Vice Chair Solanki.
Aye.
Mayor and Chair Barrows.
Aye.
The motion passes by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, and did you want to go ahead and give your reason first? Then
Yes.
we'll have Robert and staff.
Yeah,
give
I
a
would just
report.
like for staff, Mr. City Manager, to go over 7C briefly for the members of the public.
Most certainly. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. This item on agenda item 7C is an action that would facilitate the continued restoration activities at the golf course. As you are aware, and members of the community may be aware, there was some damage suffered from a pipeline leak. I'd like to defer to Acting Public Works Director Dario Simoes to provide an update on the current activities that are occurring there and the current timeline. Mr. Simoes?
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Thank you for bringing to light the emergency ordinance for the golf course. As the city manager had noted, approximately a year ago on December 19th, a local oil company had realized that there was an oil spill underground, and they had immediately closed down the golf course to enact repairs to their gas line. Upon repairs, they damaged the golf course significantly, and the city was in conversations back and forth as to restoration and the responsibilities of what restorations were required. At the time, immediately in January, for the immediate following council meeting, the city enacted an emergency ordinance over the golf course, which named the city manager as emergency manager to enact the repairs as quickly as possible and to perform the negotiations with the company as quickly as possible. I'm proud to say that the repairs are almost complete, and in order to have the golf course in playable manner, the grass and all the other restoration would be mostly complete by the middle to the end of January. We should be having an opening sometime at that time, and there is no danger to the public after the environmental investigation that the city and the company has done thus far.
Thank you, Dario. I just felt it was important to pull this item just to explain to the public. There have been many questions from residents that use the golf course and what the delay was. And I feel it was just important for Dario to explain that we are doing our best as a city to make sure that the grounds are safe for our patrons.
And if I just may add, Council Member, the driving range did open in May, as noted, and we are hoping for a grand or reopening of the balance of the golf course in the early part of next year. So with that, hopefully our community members will be pleased.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dario.
You're welcome.
Move to
Are
approve
there any
7C.
other questions or comments?
I'll move to approve 7C.
Second.
Kavita?
Thank you. A motion was made by Councilmember Vo and seconded by Councilmember Johnson to approve item 7C as noted in the publicly noticed agenda report. Council Agency Member Johnson.
Aye.
Council Agency Member Vo.
Aye.
Council Agency Member Yokoyama.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem and Vice Chair Solanki.
Yes.
Mayor and Chair Barros.
Aye.
The motion passes by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, next up under public hearings, we have a one item. Robert?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This one and only public hearing item 8A is a required action in connection with the city's receipt of grant funding for public improvements. This item will be presented by Mr. Simoes, and following that, he and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Good evening once again. Tonight, I'd like to present before you the consideration for council to authorize the use of restricted CDBG funds for the 2024-25 fiscal year. So the city receives Community Development Block Grant, otherwise known as CDBG, funding from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD. The use of these funds is very restricted and administered through the Los Angeles County Development Authority, LACDA. The funding must benefit low to moderate income persons and/or be used to improve accessibility. Part of the restrictions for the funding includes programming the funds a year in advance. In the past, the city has utilized this funding to modify the playground surfaces of all city parks, provide ADA improvements at the senior center, and repair concrete sidewalks in residential neighborhoods. The current fiscal year's appropriation entails renovating the town center's ADA curb ramps along Town Center Drive. Tonight's proposed appropriation for the next fiscal year is to continue the current fiscal year project along Town Center Drive and extend it to Park Plaza Drive. It should be noted that CDBG projects are possible through a collaborative effort from several city departments. As mentioned prior, the city has used the CDBG grant funding at all city parks and at the senior center, and also within residential neighborhoods. The goal of the CDBG funds are to improve accessibility to the many facilities and programs that the city has to offer. Above are some slight examples of the projects that the city has accomplished in the past. One can see some photographs of local parks, Heritage, Loma, Saddleback, also ADA curbs and sidewalk and trees along the right of the page from our neighborhoods. And at the two bottom, there are some projects that were completed at the Senior Center during COVID. This next fiscal year, the LACDA has notified the city that its annual allocation is $200,000. As per usual, all the Davis-Bacon Act requirements must be followed. As mentioned prior, staff has received preliminary agreement from LACDA to request next fiscal year's appropriation to be a continuation of the current year's appropriation. In other words, continue the work that was already approved and awarded in the town center this fiscal year. These are a few examples of the existing conditions of the curb ramps in the town center. Originally built approximately 30 years ago, they do not meet current ADA requirements. Additionally, some of the locations need concrete repairs. For CDBG requirements, the proposed appropriation would be in effect pre-authorizing a project to remove and replace these ramps, for the new ADA compliant ramps. Above is a map of the proposed future project, should council approve the CDBG related resolution tonight. The additional 29 ramps will connect the residents south of 183rd Street to the town center, as well as residents east of Shoemaker Avenue. It will improve local pedestrian traffic access, as well as all patrons within the town center. Currently, the various ramp construction costs are expected to be $195,000. In order to assist staff and provide seamless compliance with the many Davis-Bacon Act requirements, a consultant is proposed to be retained for a cost of about $5,000. The total costs are expected to be wholly funded by the CDBG funds. At this time, staff is recommending that the council review and discuss the information provided tonight and waive full reading and adopt a resolution as captioned on the screen. Thank you for your time. I'm available for any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Dario, thank you. Are there any questions?
I got a question, Dario. Did we already choose the consultant or we have not?
In the past, we've typically used the same consultant. They have a very good history with approving the projects with LACDA. That is the price that they typically charge us for all of our projects. That's why we know that that cost will be roughly that amount. While we haven't approved them per se, we expect to use the same consultant as they have a very good history and track record with approving these projects with the LACDA.
And the fees they're charging, that's the rate going fee for all of the other cities too?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Hearing none, we'll close this part and move to public comments. Is there anyone that wishes to address the council on this item? Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close public comments. And I'm looking for a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, are there any comments at this point? Hearing none, Vita, if we can get a roll call.
At this time, a motion has been made by Mayor Pro Tem Solanke and seconded by Councilmember Johnson to approve staff's recommendation to waive full reading of and adopt a resolution of the City of Cerritos City Council authorizing utilization of restricted community development block grant funds totaling approximately $200,000 during fiscal year 2024-25 to construct and retrofit accessible curb ramps along Town Center Drive and Park Plaza Drive within the Cerritos Town Center. At this point, a roll call vote will be conducted. Council Agency Member Johnson?
Aye.
Council Agency Member Vo?
Aye.
Council Agency Member Yokoyama?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem and Vice Chair Solanki,
Aye.
Mayor and Chair Barrows.
Aye.
The motion passes by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, next for the item on the Performing Arts Center. Robert, may we have a report, please?
Yes, thank you. This new and old business item 9A is an update and a request for authorization related to marketing activities for the theater. The presentation this evening will be given by Ms. Hilton, and following that, she and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. On June 13th, 2023, the City Council directed staff to develop and distribute a request for proposal for conducting a Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts marketing analysis to add $50,000 to the budget for the contract expense and report back to the City Council with the findings of the RFP process. On August 4th, a notice to bidders of the CCPA Marketing Analysis and Assessment, RFP number 1517-23, was advertised and also posted on the city's website. A total of 5 companies requested the RFP and agreement documents. Proposals were due to the city clerk's office on August 23rd, and the city did not receive any proposals. Staff contacted the companies that had expressed an interest in the project to ask why they had not submitted a proposal. The company representatives expressed various reasons for not participating, such as scheduling conflicts or a lack of available staff to handle the project. City staff updated and reissued the RFP. A notice to bidders of the CCPA Marketing Analysis and Assessment, RFP number 1531-23, was advertised and also posted on the city's website on October 6th. A total of 8 companies requested the RFP and agreement documents. Proposals were due to the Office of the City Clerk on November 1st, and only one responsive proposal from Capacity Interactive of New York, New York, was received. 2 other proposals that were submitted were non-responsive as they did not fulfill either the submittal or deadline requirements. Several companies provided feedback on their decision to not submit a proposal in response to the RFP, including making a strategic decision to redirect our efforts toward other opportunities, not taking on new marketing business for venues for which the company does not also provide ticketing services, and an inability to meet some of the requirements stipulated in the agreement. In a recent development with a significant impact on the CCPA's marketing programs, a key member of the marketing team will be retiring from the city effective December 30th, 2023. With the upcoming vacancy in this position, the city can consider contracting with a firm with expertise in the marketing of performing arts centers to provide the marketing services for the CCPA. Potential benefits of contracting for the marketing services include access to expertise and specialization in various areas of marketing, including digital marketing, content marketing, search engine optimization, and social media. A consultant would be up to date with the latest industry trends and best practices. An external consultant could also provide an objective perspective on marketing strategies and campaigns. A consultant could adjust their services to match the CCPA's business needs and scale up or down as required. A consultant could also adapt strategies and tactics as needed to maximize ticket sales. In addition, a consultant would have data analysis and reporting skills to track and measure the performance of marketing efforts. The cost to contract with the consultant to examine the current CCPA marketing and advertising practices and provide recommendations on updated best practices and strategies is estimated to cost up to $50,000. The city's current budget includes funds to cover the cost of the project. The cost to contract with a consultant to provide marketing services to promote ticket sales for CCPA performances is not yet determined, as it would depend on the consultant's proposed marketing plan and scope of services. Any potential contract for the services would be presented for the City Council's consideration. Staff recommends that the City Council reject all proposals received for Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts Marketing Analysis and Assessment, RFP number 1531-23, and authorize staff to reissue the project with a revised scope of work to include a Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts Marketing Analysis and Assessment and Services to market the theater's performances to maximize ticket sales. This concludes my report. And at this time, staff would be happy to answer any questions.
Annie, thank you. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Annie, thank you for that report. Just a question. You had mentioned in the report that there's a upcoming vacancy at the marketing department. Are you suggesting, or staff suggesting, that we replace that position with a outside contract company? Is that a one suggestion of that?
Yes, the suggestion would be, rather than filling a marketing manager position for the theater, to contract out instead for those services and have a marketing expert that handles performing arts centers or business to consumer marketing take on those efforts.
Would that be a negotiation type of issue where we're going to be going contracting out at the CCPA for a position that's already been budgeted in our budget for future positions? I mean, that'll take away possible promotions, move up in positions. Is that something that would be discussed with the union, or is this something that we can just do without any discussion?
The city has, I've actually spoken with our HR manager on this matter and with the city attorney, and the city can make the business decision to move forward with contracting for these services because it would not affect any of the current staff. And the position that would not be filled is a manager level position and not a represented employee.
Okay, I understand that. But that also takes away a possible potential promotion for a represented employee for that position. Possible.
Possible, sure.
Okay. Okay, and right now you don't know if the cost of contracting out with this special firm will be equivalent with the budget we already approved for that position that's going to be vacant. We don't know that.
We do not have that determined at this time. It will depend on the range of services that the company would be providing and how the expenditures are handled for all of the marketing efforts.
I think this position here is important because obviously marketing helps with sales, and sales brings in revenue. And so, yeah, I don't know what the right answer is. I just know that we're thinking out of the box right now, and I like it. I appreciate staff just having these other options, because I think this year, it's just a gut feeling that I think we're doing better than last year, right, Jeff? And it just shows that the type of type of shows we're getting is bringing in more attention to our CCPA, and that direction is slowly we're paving that direction in that way, and I appreciate that. And hopefully one of these days, one of these years, we'll won't be in a deficit, and we'll be attracting good shows. So, I just want to make sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's before we make this decision. If the city attorney and staff has already determined this is something we can move forward with, I would prefer then to have staff search for possible contract firms to do such and use that budget for that position just for that then. Because I think we've given the other efforts a try already. I think this is something that we're doing that's different, and it might change. And if not, we can always come back. So anyway, those are my comments. Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions at this point? We'll go ahead and open to the public for comments. I do have one speaker's card for David Lyman, if you please.
Yes, I realize it's been about 6 months since I stood before you. There's several reasons for that. One of them is that going back several years, when I last spoke on CCPA, it was the time when Grace Hugh was wanting to close down that facility, and it was a good thing that the council decided that the facility in and of itself was more important than her feelings about the programs. At that time, I was interested in what was going on in CCPA, and I approached Ms. Hilton, and she referred me to Kurt Swanson, who was currently the acting director at that time. We spent some time together. I shared with him a list of approximately 365 lines of activities that my wife and I had done in the last 5 years prior to that. of types of activities that we had seen at various venues around. And for those of you who know what my avocation was, they weren't all sporting events. Kurt was not too receptive to my comments about the importance of programming. And of course, I'm not quite sure, Ms. Johnson, I know that frequently when I've spoken, I have spoken in distaste with some of your positions, and this would not apply to you. But since the ambassador in my household is frequently at CCPA, she indicates that she rarely sees 4 of the council members there. So I'm not quite sure that you are as conversant with the programming efforts and what the results of them are, although Councilman just spoke about programming. So I think that it's been an improvement by us bringing in Jeff and him working hard on programming. And I think programming is much more important than the marketing at this point in time. I think the different activities that we use in marketing are sufficient. I think that we need to work harder on programming. And I know that I'm hopeful that you know that it's a year ahead, that and whoever's doing the recruiting for the groups that are performing, it's a year from the time that they make the contact until those people actually perform. And so I think that we should move forward with emphasizing programming, not necessarily marketing. So the second part of my comments tonight, about 4 or 5 months ago, after a council meeting, Jeff and I had a conversation, and one of the things that I pointed to him was that I was very opposed to us going out externally for ticketing. And I'm very disappointed that we've put Dancing with the Stars on the agenda, but you can't buy tickets at the box office. You have to go with an outside vendor. And because of the number of events that I attend, and don't attend as many anymore, because I don't, I have this cell phone here. The cell phone is for my convenience. I do not text. I'm opposed to texting. So when we go to Rams games, I have to go with my wife because we can't get in without the text message from the Rams. I've had some bad experiences. I have friends that have had bad experiences with text message ticketing, electronic ticketing, and I am not in favor of us going to electronic ticketing. And I think that's what a marketing company is going to come in and say. They're going to say, well, everybody else is doing it, you need to do it as well. I think you're going to find that there are some downsides to going to electronic ticketing. I was going to bring the ticket tonight, or the announcement, but it says, you know, that if you buy your tickets from somewhere else and you pay more, you know, don't be surprised if you can't get in or whatever, because we have had a control on ticketing. Remember, the cost is going to go up when you go electronic ticketing, because you're going to have to change the way people go into the venue, and you're going to have to hire more specialized people. It's amazing, if you don't go regularly to events that have electronic ticketing, you'd be surprised how much longer it takes to get into events now than it did with paper tickets before. I know there are disadvantages to paper tickets, but so those are my comments tonight. I would hope that you would decide not to go to a marketing company that's going to come back and suggest to you that you have electronic ticketing. I think the emphasis should be on programming, improving the programming, widening the programming, rather than going to spending the money on outside marketing. You know, it might be an idea. You now have another open position that's coming soon in the CCPA. You might find somebody that can do marketing and do house management. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. Is there anyone else that wishes to address the council at this point? Seeing we have no one, I'll go ahead and close public comments. I'll look to council for direction.
Move to approve?
Staff recommendation.
Yes, staff recommendation. Thank you.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded Vida?
Thank you. At this time, a motion has been made by Councilmember Johnson and seconded by Councilmember Vo to approve staff's recommendation for item 9A. At this time, a roll call vote will be conducted. Council Agency Member Johnson.
Aye.
Council Agency Member Vo.
Aye.
Council Agency Member Yokoyama.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem and Vice Chair Solanki.
Aye.
Mayor and Chair Barrows.
Aye.
The motion passes by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, under item 10A, we have legislative items.
We have nothing
Robert?
this evening, Mayor.
Okay. And under 10B, review and consideration, support and oppose. Anything for that?
Staff does not have any items to recommend.
Okay. Under 11A, we have reports from the city manager, executive director.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one item to report this evening. In light of the actions taken by the City Council, I would like to announce that we have a strategic planning session of the City Council, a special meeting scheduled for this Saturday, December 2nd at 10 a.m. The meeting will take place in the Malibu Room of Cerritos Park East, and staff will be posting information on the website, on the city's website tomorrow, and we'll be updating our media post to inform the public. We do encourage members of the public to attend, and anyone who's unable to attend can submit written comments to the City Council through the City Clerk's office, and information on how to do that will be available also on our website. That's all I have this evening, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Next, under 11B, we have city council communications and committee reports. Frank, do you mind if we start with you?
I don't have a report tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Linda?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On November the 11th, I attended the Veterans Day ceremony in front of the Veterans Memorial sculpture. On November 11th, later that day, I also attended a program, the Southern California Brass Consortium at the CCPA. It was very nice with patriotic music, which was a great way to honor our veterans. So thank you, Jeff, for bringing them to our programming. November 12th, I was at the CCPA for Richard Marks. Great show. November 13th, I was at the Youth Football Awards ceremony. November 14th, I was at former city manager Art Galucci's retirement luncheon with our city employees, both current and retired. November 15th, I was at Art Galucci's retirement dinner at the CCPA, the theater itself, including his family and many Cerritos stakeholders. On November 17th, again, I was at CCPA for Ruben and Clay, which I think is one of my top shows over there that I've seen this season so far. And of course, tonight I was at our tree lighting ceremony. I just want to take time to thank each and every one of my colleagues up here for approving 9A, which is the consulting services for the theater. This is something I'm really proud of. It was something I brought on consensus. So I appreciate the support of my colleagues. Thank you so much for giving this a chance. That's it.
Okay, Chung?
Thank you, Mayor. I also attended Art's retirement party, both employee and also for the general public. On November 13th, contrary to one of the speakers, I was actually at the CCPA for the Coco concert show. And I've frequented that theater numerous times, and I enjoy the theaters that, the performances now that have been crafted by our director, Jeff, and approved by the city manager. It's the holiday season. I just wanted to wish everyone a happy holiday that's coming up. I know we just passed Thanksgiving, and so hopefully everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I'm very thankful for the city, for everything that it's provided for my family, and then also thankful for the staff members that constantly, day in and day out, that has done so much for my family and the regular residents, constituents for us. And I know it's much appreciated. Sometimes we don't hear those as often as we hear the complaints, but there are definitely people out there that move to Cerritos because of the conditions that you provide as staff. So thank you so much. Tonight was the Tree Lighting Festival. Hopefully everybody attended. And for those who weren't able to, that tree is going to be lit up every night until Christmas, to New Year's, right? And so hopefully you can come out and check out that Christmas tree. You can see it from the corner of 183rd and Bloomfield. I want to thank staff and everybody that put in all the effort to make it a successful night like you always have. I also want to say something that actually happened prior to the last council meeting, which is the arts and education. I was at the theater as well, welcomed some of those students that came by, and I know we have three more that's coming up at the CCPA, sponsored by Janice Hahn. And I just want to say how nice that event was. I stayed for a little bit for one of the concerts. I know Mayor Pro Tem was there as well, and he greeted the students from the district. And what people don't know is that actually that's open for outside of the district as well. So if you know any teachers, any schools that might be interested in the next performances, they can apply to receive a showtime. I just want to thank Jeff and the theater for doing that as well. So with that, again, just thank you and have a safe holiday. I know we have a few more meetings before Christmas, but I'll save my holiday greetings then. Thank you.
Thank you, Chung. Mayor Pro Tem Naresh.
Thank you, Mayor. I think everything has been said, so I'm going to keep my comments short and nothing to report. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to add to the comments about the retirement party for the employees. It was very inspiring just to listen to the comments from the employees who had been here and retired, those who are still here. There's just a lot of pride in this city by our employees, and it's a tribute to, I think, a lot of the leadership that we have, not just at the city manager level, but at the division head level and throughout the whole organization. And I know there's a video. Are we going to show that video that was taken, for the employees? I mean, I don't know what we're doing with it, but I got a hunch that there's some comments that'd be well received if it was made public.
The video was filmed really for the Galucci family. Bill Petropoulos, our video production specialist, filmed the event, and we had not planned it for widespread public viewing. So I think if that is the council's interest, we would just need to take a look at the video and maybe talk to the people that were featured, because when they spoke, I think it was to that room, to their
Yes.
colleagues and to Art. So if that is the interest, if that'd be okay, if we could just make sure that people are okay with sharing that video. And if they're not, then we can do a bit of editing for those that are not comfortable.
Well, if council would concur, it would just allow you to talk to the Galucci's and the employees, and if there's any interest, bring it forward. And if there isn't, just let it go.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I concur.
Yes.
I think that'd be a little extra assignment for you, if you don't mind, Robert. Okay, we do have some upcoming community programs. The first one up is the Santa Float, which will be going throughout the city on December 4th, 5th, 6th, the 11th, 12th, and 13th, and also Friday, December 15th. Please check our website for the specific routes. The library will also be presenting the holiday concert by the Cypress City Senior Chorus, Wednesday, December 6th at 7 p.m. in the Skyline Room. Family Story Time with Santa, which is on Thursday, December 7th at 6 p.m. in the Skyline Room. The Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts, tickets are still available for the Mannheim Steamroller on Thursday, November 30th at 7 p.m. Home for the Holidays, Friday, December 8th at 8 p.m. Dave Cause and Friends, Friday and Saturday, December 15th and 16th at 8 p.m. The Drumline Holiday, Friday, December 22nd at 8 p.m. And Straight No Chaser, Friday, December 29th at 8 p.m. Santa's Island at Heritage Park, which is on December 16th from noon to 3:30 p.m. There are also numerous holiday events and activities for the community sponsored by the Parks and Recreation Division, the Cerritos Library, Community Participation Senior Center, and the Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts. Check the city website for additional information. Last and very importantly is the holiday donation opportunities. Residents and community members can remember underprivileged children by donating to the Toys for Tots program sponsored by the United States Marine Corps. The Salvation Army also has the Angel Tree program for needy children. For more information for either of these programs, you can contact the Community Participation Division at 562-865-8101. And that leads me to our next agenda item, which is a closed session. And if we can have a report, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of the council. Tonight there are 3 closed session items on the agenda. Item 12A is conference with legal counsel for anticipated litigation and consideration of initiation of litigation pursuant to California Government Code Section 54956.9 subdivision D4 with the number of cases 1. Item 12B, conference with legal counsel for existing litigation pursuant to California Government Code Section 54956.9 subdivision D1. The name of the case is City of Whittier et al. Versus Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles et al. Orange County Superior Court, case number 23 STCP 03579. Item 12C, conference with legal counsel for existing litigation pursuant to California Government Code Section 54956.9, subdivision D1. Name of the case is City of Redondo Beach et al. Versus Bonta et al. Los Angeles County Superior Court, case number 22 STCP 01143. And with that, Mayor, we can recess to close session.
Okay, we are recessed. Thank you.